Uploading today's video pretty late because I was hoping I could share for you today the guest speaker we had at Keto Club. It's Kartik Kinney. He's a lead developer and producer of Twin Cop, cool game on Steam. And that's not going to happen until tomorrow, just from the editing time it's taking me. But I'm going to put that up for my video tomorrow, so I'll be in the same shirt because it's also going to be a video from today. You get the picture. But I can give as a sort of note related to the video you're going to see tomorrow, this important point that was shared with me with one of my friends many years ago, as so many of these things come from, who reminded me that style is substance. And I looked around trying to find the origin of the phrase. I wasn't able to produce it, but it's been around for a very long time. I think there's been recently been music videos or songs by that title, but it's been along certainly much longer than that, as this advice to me came from over a decade ago. And it comes from this point that it's not just the what happens in a game, in a story, in a poem, in a song that matters. It's how it's styled, how it's done. And I mention this because the guest speaker we had, a lot of what he talks about is really engaging user interface design using Unity. Basically, exciting menus, which sounds absurd. It sounds like this kind of like oxymoron almost, but it absolutely isn't. As you're going to see in this talk, like there's a lot of valuable insights to how this makes a difference between an experience that feels polished, feels ready to buy, feels ready to be remembered, versus one that's a little more forgettable, one that feels like it came out of a just game jam forgettably, or something like that. So we're going to talk tomorrow about that. Check out the video I'm going to be able to upload. Got his permission already for it. I've just got to do a little more editing to that. And, you know, this is the same sort of thing that I was having a discussion the other day with a friend about, like, if they had read this book or not. And they're like, oh, I already know what happens in it. And I try to make a point, like, the merit of a book, the value of it, just like in a film, isn't what happens in it. It's how it's told. It's how it's said. It's how it's phrased. It's not a series of plot points. Sometimes we get so attached to focusing on those details, the mechanics of this character and what happens to that character, that we lose sight on things like in TV, cinematography, things like in film, the way it's scored, or the way it's even acted, right? And all the time in games, there's this other layer of what's going on, where you could have thousands of games that all reach the same criteria of when this object collides with that object, the following happens. Under the following conditions, score or points or leadership and rankings are assigned as such, right? You could all follow the same rules, but in the style of how they're presented. Some could be far more energetic, some could be far more stylized, far more artistic, far more just memorable, far more unique, far more nostalgic. So many different things they can click into on us because, again, as the opening statement went, style is substance. And to reiterate one more time, I'm not inventing that phrase. It's been around for a while. But somehow it eluded me for probably 20 years of my life before I heard it. So I wanted to pass it along today. That we can keep in mind that we're not wasting time shining something, polishing something. Occasionally, like that is a significant, very real part of the value someone's getting. When they decide to, whether it's pay for something, whether they decide to put time into trying something out, giving it a shot, that kind of thing. Just choosing to allocate part of their lifetime, of which everyone has a limited quantity, toward enjoying, experiencing, viewing, playing the thing that you're making. The work you put into style is not time wasted. It's not optional. It's not arbitrary. It's in many cases a really core part of what they're buying, right? It's a bit like flavor to food. Like that's pretty inseparably a part of why someone chooses to eat one thing over another. So that's it for today. I look forward to sharing Kartik's great talk with you tomorrow on the same YouTube channel, of course, right here. And that's it for today. I'd be curious if there are any examples in the bottom and comments if you can think of cases where there's a game where you know, you played it and you couldn't tell from beforehand, or a book or a movie, whatever, why it seemed like it was going to appeal to you. But man, when you watched it, when you read it, when you played it, it really kind of clicked. And when you realize from it, you think about it, it's like the style was really what held you. The way it was told, the way it was presented, the way it was put together, all the little details kind of put together are what made you decide it was really worth it, really exciting. And I'll just throw in for a couple of short examples of my own. I think of things like, you know, before I saw Back to the Future, obviously when I was a kid, you know, if you would ask me am I interested in time travel movies, I'd say no. Like I'm not innately interested in that. But after I saw it, heck yes I was, because of the way the style pulled me into it, the way it was told, much more so than any particular thing that actually happened in the plot. Same thing goes for, you know, if you ask me if I cared about Godfather, kind of like mafia-style movies, not at all. But after seeing it, suddenly we had developed this interest in all things related because of the style of how well it's put together, how well it just presents itself. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you as always for tuning in. Have another video for tomorrow. In fact, it's going to be the guest speaking of GameDev Club by Kartik Kenny. Bye for now.